Makes a difference. That's awesome. Getting us all set up. Cool beans.
Much of them and for these. But. First year after so.
That is so understandable. Don't worry. I know that that's so hard. My daughter's boyfriend's sister and her partner just had a baby. And I met him Saturday night. Only like 2 weeks old. And he was 7 pounds. You just forget how tiny they are when they first come out, even when they're full size. I'm like, she goes, yeah, he was 7 pounds, something ounces. I'm like, yeah, my daughter was. They're just tiny.
Yeah.
So cute though. He was so good.
I'm expecting a small baby just because my husband and I are both small. And I was like, 6.5 pound baby.
For you. My daughter was 7 pounds, 15 ounces. So just right. Yeah. I was lucky. My pregnancy was very easy. My only problem was just the normal tiredness. And then I had a swollen foot. And at the end, I had to wear slippers. Especially because one foot she was pressing on some area. Yeah, and it was making my right foot look a little elephant-like. It was attractive, but hey, it was fine. If that was the only thing, those are the only things I had going on, it's not too bad.
Well, I just took a look at the contract house.
Uh-huh.
It is really pretty.
Yeah, they did a pretty good job in there. Oh, that's fixable though. It was just the paint was stuck or something.
So you guys, I'm sure, found that too. You
We went last night. Yeah, and I like the tile finishes and the countertops in the kitchen, very understated, but have, a nice look to them. I liked, nothing was so extreme in the materials that they used that it would get dated quickly.
Yes.
So I thought it was very tasteful. Good morning, good morning. If you can have your cameras
Morning.
on, please have your cameras on. That is always my preference to see your sweet smiling faces. If you got to see mine, I should have to see yours. Karen, be careful. Hi, good morning. Be careful driving.
I got some work to do today, so I'll be joining you guys on Zoom.
Okay.
Just be listening.
Shoot, I missed the ledge. Good thing I had the lid on. And it closed right as it went down. Okay, we're good. Dropped my tea, but all is good. We did too, when so know this, when you all on Wednesday Night Warriors, we're gonna go once a month. It'll most likely be the second Wednesday of the month that we'll go see the Contract Challenge House. And then we come back and look at comps, start looking at comps. I know. But we look at comps, so it's a really good exercise to start getting comfortable at what do you look at, and it was actually a little tough to pull comps for a side-by-side split. And remember, before you write that offer for the Contracts Challenge, you need to do comps. And if you really want to get bonus points with Linda, submit them with your offer, your CMA with your offer, because that always impresses her and shows her that you did your due diligence in doing all of that. Okay, so I'm going to get the presentation going in present form. It'll take just a minute. We're going to be going on referrals, talking about that today, but I have a couple of things to touch base with you all let me on Zoom, let me share the screen with you all. Let's get this expanded so I can share, so you can look at the material and not me. A lot more fun. Two things. One, I've sent out two emails recently. One was if you want to participate in a trial, a workshop that KWU, Keller Williams University, is putting together. And they reached out to productivity coaches across the United States and asked who wanted to test this material. The workshop is based off Keller Inc.'s newest publication, and that's the Rookie Real Estate Agent book. And it's written by Jay Papasan. He's the co-author of the Millionaire Real Estate Agent book. This is focusing the MREA philosophy, strategy to new agents, to rookie agents. So if you all want, there's the student guides there on the table. And then I loaded the student guides onto the launch Facebook page for those of you who are not here in person to get one. Yeah, just take one stack. There you go. Perfect. Good morning, Wyatt.
Good morning.
So if you would like to participate in that workshop, I have it scheduled for next Wednesday. And it is from, what did I schedule it for? It's like a 4 or 5 hour workshop. They wanted me to do it in a whole day. I'm going to do it from 11 to 4. Now, here's the catch. You got to be here for the whole thing. Because in order to be able to test this material, I had to promise, one, that I would do this workshop before December 1st, and two, that the participants would give feedback. So that they'll know, is this, what should we do? Is this good? Should we tweak it? Should we revamp it? What have you? So it's a really cool opportunity to have early exposure to something that they're going to be rolling out nationwide. And we get to be one of the test markets for that. So quite a few of you have already signed up for the Rookie Real Estate Agent Workshop on next Wednesday. But if you haven't, good morning, Olivia. Come on in. Good to see you. Thank you. And so that workshop, I would love to have you next Wednesday. Look for my email. And then yesterday I sent out an email about the FSBO and expired list. Did everybody see that email? Okay. We want to protect you big time. And because calling do not call numbers is one of the biggest risks that you can do as an agent right now and can get you in the most trouble and the biggest fines. I want to make sure everyone has a good idea or understands the risk and how to do this right. There's also a video on how do you get business from FSBOs and expireds and cancels. So it's not only just you learning what not to do, it's also, I've got that short video, it's like 22 minutes, that video on how to go get business. That agent, she was a KW agent for a very long time. She's very successful. I forget where she lives. I want to say Arizona, but I'm not sure. I found her video. I watched several of them. I really liked hers. And she's saying, go after those expired FSBOs and canceled because they can be a great source of business. So if you all would go back into Digital Chalk under the first tab, that Getting Started tab, my assistant has added those 4 requirements there. You'll have until a week from tomorrow to finish it, so that you can continue getting the list. Because it's an important list. Even if you don't choose to call or try to convert FSBOs, cancels, and expireds, here's what I want you to know. That list can also be beneficial if you have a buyer who has a need in those FSBOs. Sometimes that can be the house for them. So you want to be able to have an easy way to look for those on a regular basis to see, because sometimes it can be hard to find that house for your buyer. And remember, that's our job. Our job is not just putting them on an MLS search and letting them go find the house. Our job is to also be looking at that. You should be on every search that you put your clients on, every search. And you should be looking at it. And it's like curating that, meaning you should go in there and look at and say, Olivia, there was a house on there today. Did you see it? It really looked like what we've been talking about. Should we go see it tonight? Don't wait for them or say, I didn't see anything. That one house looked nice, but it was on such a busy street. I just wouldn't recommend that since you have kids and pets. So you've got, good morning, Jeffrey. The student guides are up here. I forgot to tell you, Olivia and Jeffrey, come up and get a student guide. And then, if somebody comes in late, somebody's gonna have to give them one to go make copies, but we still have. Thank you, Olivia. Okay, any questions about the 2 emails? The workshop next Wednesday from 11 to 4. Well, I would love to have you there and participating. Jody's getting on. And then the FSBO expired list and doing the new requirements so that we are all on the same page. And everybody has clarity. And we're protecting you from any legal liability and huge, ginormous fines. I don't know about you, but I don't have $53,000 set aside for a violation of the call. I don't.
I have
I don't think
the
it can't happen to
sorry.
you because one of our agents here, it's probably been about 5 years, who does calling, but always uses a curated list, meaning a list that's bumped up against the do not call, got a complaint filed against him. And luckily he was able to show the list he used when he called. And that person, that consumer was not on the list at the time that he called. They then got on the do not call list, but not, so he, because the brokerage was made aware of that also, because, we'll probably get, no, not probably, we will. And then did you see how much in that email that, because I couldn't remember sharing with you the tens of millions of dollars that Keller Williams, anybody remember how much that was? $40 million to settle for our agents calling people on the do not call list. $40 million. And then those agents had to pay too. So probably, who knows? I don't know, but it could have been like 80 million altogether. Crazy. So we're not going there. None of you are going to go there because we're going to do it right. All right. Let's get into referrals. Has anybody given a referral yet or received a referral since you've gotten your license? No? Anybody online?
Yes.
Connor, tell me.
Yeah, I've given a referral.
Oh, hold on. Let me check my volume. There's something funky with my computer, even if the volume's up. It's like I have to reset it. Hold on. No, and it's not even up. Okay.
Is it
Okay,
working
Connor.
now?
Yes, it is.
Okay, awesome. Well, I've kind of given a referral. I've just people from our Facebook, in our office, if they're looking for an agent, in Columbia, I knew an agent, so I was giving kind of them the referral, but I wasn't receiving anything on that end. But I had, if she has any referrals coming to Kansas City, we've kind of talked. She'll maybe be giving me some referrals because I've
So
given her
building a
few, so.
relationship, I
Yeah.
like that. And that's what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk basically about 3 kinds of referrals. It's actually 2, but it is out of town people that you know that don't live in Kansas City, and how you can make referral money there. And then we're going to talk about agent to agent referrals, out of town agents or agents in this office. Okay, you guys ready to learn all about referrals and talk about it? Okay, let's get going. First, we have to do a check-in. So hold on, let me minimize our Zoom people. I'm gonna put this up here. Okay, if everybody would check in, please scan the QR code so that I know everybody's here. I need everybody to scan it. Is it big enough for you all in person? Okay, awesome.
What is this workshop thing?
Jeffrey, I sent out an email about rookie new agent workshop coming up next Wednesday. We are a test market for new Keller Williams material based on the brand new book, The Rookie New Agent by Jay Papasan. And we get to test the material from KW before they go out and distribute it to all of the markets across the United States. So I'm asking for people to participate and to be there from 11 to 4, because the requirement is that you give feedback, good feedback, thoughtful.
When did you send that email?
I don't know the date. It was last week, I believe. Look in your spam. Sometimes it goes there.
No, I got it.
You got it? Good. Check it out and then let me know. All you need to do is tell me that you want to be there. So I'll know how many workbooks to have for you all, and we'll have a little fun. I'll bring snacks since we'll be here for a long time. You might want to go ahead and bring your lunch. We're going to have a working lunch, meaning I'll give you some time to go get your lunch or fix your lunch. And then we'll work and eat at the same time so that we can get it all done. Remember, I said they told me it takes a day or 2 half days. I'm gonna scale it back a little bit. I think we can go faster than that and cover the material, because that's a lot of time. And since I had to do it quickly and get it on the calendar quickly to meet their deadlines, so I hope you all can join. Okay. Let's talk about referrals. We're going to tap into an overlooked lead source. So many agents ignore the value of referrals. They think of it occasionally or just when it pops up. If you are purposeful, this can be a great stream of income for you. Matter of fact, there are agents in KW that basically the majority of their business comes from agent to agent referrals. Agent to agent referrals. Amazing, because they have seen the value of it and they have gone all in on it. You need to understand how you stay top of mind with your network, the agents and your people who are out of state, even out of town. They can still be in Missouri or Kansas. Here's the thing, guys. I'm going to tell you this. Although your license, Jaden, allows you to do real estate across the state, if you're going to do business, like if you have your Missouri license, you're going to do business in Columbia or St. Louis, you've got to join their board. You've got to join their MLS. And whatever lockbox system they have, you're going to have to join, because it's not going to be the same. They do that on purpose. They do. And think about it. Do you know that market? And how are you going to show houses? How are you going to have a listing there when somebody calls off of the sign and says they want to go see it? They don't have an agent. What are you going to do? You really can't do your job. And because you don't know the market and you're not familiar with it, also, most likely, guess what? The contracts are different. And we as coaches don't know other trade associations' documents and contracts. So we do not advise it at all. Get a nice referral fee for bringing together a consumer a customer with an agent. So remember, yes, you license wise, you can go do it, but I don't recommend it. I really don't. Olivia. Yes, they are. I'm glad you asked that though. Our MLS, if you go into KCRER and look at the footprint, we go way up north. We go all the way south down to Pittsburgh, Kansas. And then, but Lawrence is special, or they think they're special. And they have decided to have their own. Just basically for Lawrence. They have their own lock boxes, they have, yeah, their own MLS, they have their own trade association. Now, because they're so close to us, many of the Lawrence agents also belong to KCRER and our MLS, so that they can get maximum exposure. But here's the thing, if you're gonna show a house in Lawrence, you better check and make sure you can get into that house. Because Lawrence agents, they're very territorial, and that's why they have kept their own. They don't want us. They don't like us particularly. I'm not saying that. I mean, it's just a mindset of they want to keep their own little world. Now, our agents help people buy and sell in Lawrence all the time. You just need to know that it may not be as easy to get into a property as possible. And yes, you can put it, if you get a listing in Lawrence, you can put it in our MLS, but just know you're missing out on the Lawrence MLS.
So you technically can work there, but I mean, there's.
They make it harder. It's easier to work with a buyer in Lawrence than it is to a listing. So that's not hard to make it work. And it is like now an extended suburb almost, right? Because K10 and all the build up all the way to Lawrence practically. But just know they're a holdout. But if you go to Topeka, they have a different MLS. That's about, yeah, we don't go that far out. But we go up to St. Joe. Yeah, there's a map on MLS and KCRER that you can see how far the reach is. But just know, here's the other thing. How they do real estate in Pittsburgh, Kansas is different than we do it here. Meaning bedside manner and a lot of things, it's because who you know. They find out from Joe that Farmer Brown is about to sell. And I mean, the word of mouth, the small town word of mouth. So it's hard to step into another community and try to do real estate. It is. I'm going to be real with you. Now this was a long time ago, but I found having a listing in Lewisburg that those agents wouldn't show my house. They didn't come to my agent tour. They wouldn't respond to any of my emails. I mean, I tried everything. I did a broker tour. I went to their offices and left invites. Zipoli came. And then I heard from another agent who knew agents there, said, yeah, they don't like Johnson County agents coming in. They don't. I'm like, obviously. Master the screening process. How are you going to learn how to qualify agents that you want to refer to a potential customer? And then look at the different ways of marketing so that you can start educating people on how you can help even when it's not in Kansas City. And we've had some agents do some really cool creative things that I'll share with you. It is an untapped gold mine. That agent to agent referral matters because most agents are overlooking this and they're not even thinking about their out of town people. especially for those of you who are not from Kansas City and maybe you haven't lived here very long and you're thinking, oh, I don't have a big database of Kansas City people. Well, your financial opportunities are huge with out-of-town people if you educate them. Most consumers have no idea, Jaden, that you could help them find an agent in another city, another state. They have no clue. And until you teach them that, they're not gonna know. They'll go do it on their own. And you'll be like, oh, but I could have helped you. The next time you see them, and you'd be like, oh, darn, I wish you had. And they'd say, I didn't know. It's up to us to educate them. And you have to be purposeful and strategic about it in your relationship building, either with your out-of-town people and the agent-to-agent referrals. Like Connor was saying, he helped refer someone to a Columbia agent that he knows. And he's talked with that agent about if she has anybody coming to Kansas City, would she think of him and refer to him? So building those relationships, it should be give and take, because you never know when when an agent's gonna have somebody come into Kansas City. We're pretty popular. We're a pretty desirable place. Cost of living's decent, cost of housing, even though it seems high for us, it is very affordable compared to other parts of the country. Our traffic, we don't have huge traffic grids and backups. We do have certain times of day, it slows down. But it's not where you're spending hours in traffic, right? We have a lot of different things going on in the city with our teams and everything that make us highly desirable. We have the World Cup coming next year. I mean, we're kind of a big deal for what I would call a mid-sized city. And so we're on the and it doesn't hurt that Taylor Swift spends time here and attends our Chiefs games. That doesn't hurt our notoriety. So that's where, wow, you could build relationships. If you have any contacts of people who have Airbnbs or thinking about making their property an Airbnb short term during the World Cup. I just heard today on the news that Jackson County is actually, or Kansas City, Missouri, is actually thinking about loosening regulations or requirements during the World Cup, so more people could create
Did that too.
Parkville did. So their municipalities looking at easing some of their requirements during that period, knowing that there's going to be a huge need. And if you knew, or even if you could then start letting agents out of state know, say, hey, if you've got anybody coming to Kansas City for a World Cup, I can hook them up with a nice Airbnb or 2 or 3, right? So be that person who helps. It's about being intentional. You'll get results out of targeting referrals if you're intentional. Don't leave money on the table. When you're meeting with people, and especially a seller, and a seller says, when one of your main questions is, why are you moving out of state? Or where are you moving? And they say, we're moving out of state. Job offer to be closer to the grandkids or whatever it is. Warmer weather, tired of the winters, whatever it is, you need to ask, do you have a good agent in the city that you're looking to move to or the town? Because if you don't, I would love to help you. Don't just assume that they would ask you, because again, they don't know. So that's where you want to connect them with out-of-town agents to help them. Offer to refer outside of your area. If a client is buying or selling, again, help them. If you know somebody's going to get a vacation home, well, let me help you find a really good agent. That's one of the services I provide to clients, to customers. And don't assume they're covered. Don't, even if it's a couple that's bought and sold and they've had vacation homes before, or what have you, don't assume they have someone where they're going. And with everything they have going on, they'd probably be very appreciative to have your help so that they're not spending the time trying to figure out who to use. And sometimes they're just gonna go there and then find somebody, maybe because it was a listing that they saw, and they don't know if they ended up with a good agent or not. They don't. So that's why you helping them find a trusted agent in their new location is so important. And that's what they would really appreciate. So be proactive, ask those questions. Why are you moving? Where are you moving to? And if you haven't started the home search or you don't have an agent that you've hired, then I would love to be able to assist you because I have a network of agents. Now, do you have to refer to another Keller Williams agent? No. Now, because we're the largest real estate franchise in the world, there's a good chance you can find a Keller Williams agent most places, but not all places. Usually in rural areas, we're not. A lot of the big brands are not in rural areas. Those are usually local, small local brokerages down there. You can refer to any agent. You're just wanting to find a good agent for them. So here's what I want you thinking about is, do you have any agents in your database right now? Any out-of-town agents? Okay.
Yep.
Yep. Good. So here's what I would do is you have to be educating them about and reminding them that you're the Kansas City agent for anybody that they know coming this way. And so you need to remind them on a regular basis. And it's going to be different than how you would remind like family and friends or people you went to school with who live out of state. It's a different messaging. One of the agent, I had an agent that he actually was our bold coach one year, and he had a real estate team in Nashville, Tennessee. He still does. How he did it was brilliant. A lot of agents will just put other agents on their newsletter that they send it, like the 36 Touch. That's messaging for a consumer. What he did is he had a once a month email that went out to out-of-state agents talking about Nashville. How cool it was, what was going on in Nashville, how he could help anybody who's moving to Nashville. He kept Nashville in front of me so that I knew that if I heard of anyone moving to Nashville, he was the one. And he was showing all the cool stuff going on in Nashville. I was like, wow, I want to go visit there, right? So you could do the same with Kansas City. A once a month email that goes out. Now, that's why it would be different messaging for your family and friends, because those you're trying to educate them on how you can help them. But I thought it was brilliant and it was very successful for him. And especially since he was a bold coach, he was traveling the United States, meeting all these agents, and I'm sure he got bucket loads of referrals. Because we want to refer to somebody we've met and like, ideally. That's one of the reasons I encourage people that when you have the opportunity to go to one of our national events, we have two big national events. We have Family Reunion. It's always in February. And it's always in a warm weather location. And I don't know about you, but by February, I'm done. I'm done with the cold weather. I'm not even putting on my coat in protest, even though I probably should, right? I'm just done. I love going to family reunion. It's about mid-month. I love going to family reunion and going somewhere warm. kind of gets me past that winter doldrum of, I'm so tired of this. This year it'll be, or in February of 2026, it will be in Atlanta for the first time that I know of. So that's exciting. It's usually, the place is, because it's so big, there's usually an average of, guess how many agents usually on average, Keller Williams agents attend family reunion? 5,000? How many? 50? No, and no. 15 to 17. I think the highest we've ever had was 18,000.
Right, Rich Knight's gonna be the speaker.
Yes.
Yeah.
Also,
7 pregnant.
that'll be hard. Also, we have, who's the other speaker? We have,
Jay Shetty.
Jay Shetty is gonna be one of the main speakers, who,
Those are cool.
yeah, last year we had Mel Robbins and Tony Robbins, both. I mean, just one of them is huge. We had both of them. Tony was good. I absolutely loved Mel. She was phenomenal. So it's an amazing event, but one of the main reasons you go is to meet other agents across the United States and even the world. Because it's kind of cool to go to the international booth in there and hear all the languages being spoken. Super cool, super cool. So that's one of the reasons you go, is because agent to agent referrals, we believe so heavily in them. And the other thing we do not do is we don't charge you extra for referrals. Now, there are companies that do. It's not a right or a wrong. It's just a different revenue philosophy. So there are companies that even if you find the agent, they have a referral department, and that all referrals have to go through them, whether you find the agent or not. It's set up so that they find the agent, but then they take 20% of your referral fee. So again, not a good or a bad, it's just a different philosophy and a different way that they make money. We believe that it's your relationship and you should be picking out the agents and doing that. Make sense? And yeah, I would challenge you to be very purposeful in building this. So that you say to yourself, I want a minimum of 3 referrals a year, out of town referrals. I want 3 from my family and friends, and then maybe 2 or 3 from out of town agents. Set a goal so that you will be purposeful and really work it. And here's the beautiful thing. If you have, does anybody have a concentration of family in like a city or town? Where?
Cedar Rapids, Falls, Des Moines, and Fort Wayne.
Okay, so if you don't already, I would go looking for good agents in advance. So that you can say to family and friends, I already, and I would do more than one. Because no one agent is a fit for all of your family and friends. Different personalities, different specialties, different areas. I would want a couple of agents in that city or town, so that I can already say to my relatives and my friends, hey, I've got relationships with several good agents. So just let me know when you're ready to do something, and I will introduce you and connect you and get you with a really great agent. So be proactive, so you're not, if you do have a concentration, otherwise it's hard to, I wouldn't go, you could build relationships where everybody is. But I would first focus on where you have more than like 2 or 3 people, right? Make sense? I even hear agents who say, oh, I have too many agents in my database. Well, tag them. Tag them so that you know how to communicate with them. So giving and receiving advantage, hot leads delivered to you. The reason agents have no problem paying you a referral fee is you just handle them. a potential client. You just handed it to them. They didn't have to go call, they didn't have to door knock, they didn't have to. Yeah, it was delivered to them. That's pretty sweet, right? So you're handing them somebody who is ready, and that we'll talk about how you want to hand somebody off and the questions you want to ask in advance. You are not just going to have just someone text you and say, I want to buy a house in Columbia, and then you just race to go find an agent. You're going to ask them more questions before you're going to, because if you don't ask enough questions, you don't know if you're talking to the right agent that's going to meet their needs. What if they want new construction and you talk to an agent who's never sold new construction? That's not very helpful for your client.
VA loans.
Hmm?
VA loans, my brother-in-law was looking for an agent for VA loans.
Exactly. Someone who understands the ins and outs of working with a veteran getting a VA loan. They're not difficult, but they are different than a conventional loan, and it'll give more confidence to someone, to a vet, if they know they're working with someone who understands the loan that they're getting. Less time than cold prospecting. Hello. How sweet when somebody calls you and says, boom, I've got somebody for you. We've got an agent in Colorado, in Denver. My husband has referred both of his kids, his twins and their spouses both moved separately to the Denver area. And now he's helped them buy and sell other houses, that agent. So that agent loves Mike. It's like, you're great and your family's great. High return, minimal effort. Think about it. If I told you the minimum average referral fee, what do you think that is? What amount?
30%?
Dollar amount. How
Oh,
much?
sorry, I was saying 30% and not the dollar amount.
Think of the dollar amount. The minimum. 2,000. Minimum. And if you only spend maybe 2 hours on the phone finding a good agent, what do you think about that hourly rate? Pretty decent, isn't it? Pretty darn good. $1,000 an hour, would anybody go for that? Yeah, that's the minimum. Unless they're buying a tiny little house under 100,000, you're gonna make a minimum of 2,000. Minimum, and it could go up. Like on commercial, I remember an agent who gave a referral to one of our commercial agents, and they made in a referral fee, 5,000, no, $15,000. Because it was a multi-million dollar building that the people were buying or selling. I can't even remember if they're buying or selling. For just being a little matchmaker. And I had one agent do a really clever matchmaker. I'm your agent matchmaker. And so they just did a really cute marketing campaign to everybody they knew out of state, saying, think of me as your matchmaker. I love bringing together people I know with really good agents. And so it was so cute what they did. I was just like, oh, that is so good. So that's one of the reasons I want you all to work this. And it doesn't take you a lot of time to do it. You can systemize most of it so that it's just going on in the background, but you have to keep doing it. So you have to understand the pros and cons of receiving referrals. The advantages, like we said, hopefully pre-qualified motivated agents, built-in trust. The highest percent, if you ask people where did they find their agent, the highest percent is from family and friends or coworkers. Because how many times have you all asked somebody that you know, who do you know that fixes cars? Who do you know, right? Who do you know that trims trees? Do you know a good agent? And you want that name coming out of their mouth to be yours. Potential reciprocal business. Yeah, that other agent sending you business because you're building a good, I see too many agents. They make the calls to the other agents out of state. They say, okay, I'm gonna send this person to you, connect you, and they never check back in. They just wait for the referral check and then it doesn't come and they don't know that the deal fell out. They have no idea. They're not staying on top of it. You don't just hand it off and then walk away. You check with the client, you check with the agent, faster closing timelines. So this can happen faster than you going out showing houses. Cause you could be showing houses for 2 weeks or 6 months with somebody. Expanded market reach. Again, think of it this way. I love thinking about how you guys can diversify. Because what happens if the market here gets hard? Well, that doesn't mean it's hard in every city, in every town. Or what if you have like in the market downturn in 2007, 2008, when it went, as an agent, we saw Nevada, Arizona, California, New York, Florida, those places getting hit and hammered. What if we could have helped, if we had family members there, we could have helped them find a really good agent during one of the hardest times, help them when they really needed the help the most. So it gives you that opportunity to not just depend on what's going on here. You can take advantage of where other people might have real estate needs. Here are the challenges. Responsibilities to the referring agent, and that's what we're going to talk about. How do you qualify the client? Referral fee reduces commission. Yeah, but if it's out of state, you wouldn't have gotten it anyway, right?
How is it written in like contracts or, so say I refer someone in St. Louis, is there a contract that gets sent over?
There is a referral form that we have in Loop
Gotcha,
that you will fill out and have signed prior to connecting the client with the agent.
gotcha.
And their broker has to sign it so that the broker knows that there is commission due. Because as a former broker, I have had to argue for my agent who said, we agreed to a referral fee. And I'm like, where's the form? They're like, well, we didn't sign anything, but we agreed. Like, or there's an email just saying a percentage. And yeah, and it didn't clearly state the client, nothing with clarity. So we have a form that you would fill out, send to the agent that you're giving the referral to. And then they sign off, you sign off of it, and then you share it with the office. You can't just put it in Loop because it's not a transaction. You'll put it in Loop, but you also have to share it with Rochelle and Rebecca, who are our finance people. Because when a referral check, commission check comes in, usually the title companies only identify it by the names of the clients and the property address. They rarely ever have the referral agent's name on there. So if we don't have a heads up that you could be getting a referral, then they have to track it down. And that just slows it down getting to you. But great question.
Is there a general percentage? Is it typically 25, 30%?
It is always negotiable.
Yeah.
Commission is always negotiable. I will tell you what I quite often seen is between 20 and 30%. You're going to tell the other agent what your referral fee is. You're not going to ask them. You're going to say, I charge. Now, the highest I think I've ever seen is 50%. And here's why. It was an agent of ours. His best friend in Cincinnati was moving. He went there and staged her house and did a lot of prep work with her and then handed her to an agent. So they got an amazing, beautiful listing that was high end. It was high dollar. And so they got 50%. So it's always negotiable. Jeffrey.
Now, is that? I have to think of how I, phrase this question.
Okay.
Here's my question. If we if there's an agent that refers to us,
Mhm.
that refers to me specifically
A client.
as part of the launch program, and I know this is getting into the specifics a little. Now, the launch program then is, that,
Your splits still say the same. So here's the thing. If it is something coming into you and it has to do with you're going to be dealing with a client, then you still do your launch splits. The office, the launch, the franchise fee to Keller Williams International. Those all stay the same. If it is you've referred out and you're getting a referral back just for the introduction, no launch money comes out of that because we weren't helping you with a transaction.
right,
Make sense?
right. Well,
So the office splits still apply, but the launch, we didn't coach you on that transaction. You just match me.
here's my question.
Uh-huh.
Is the referral fee coming out of, or like a percentage of
They're
the
gross.
the total commission?
The gross of the agent, of the other agent. So whatever their gross, let's say their gross commission was 6,000 and you negotiated 25% referral fee, the 25% is coming off of the 6,000, the gross,
Okay,
not the net, not after their splits.
okay. And that'd be the same for us, right? So if I get a referral and the commission on that ends up being, let's say, we'll just go for round numbers, like 10,000. So the split would be.
You're paying, but then if it's somebody has given, yes, you're paying them off of your gross.
Right,
So it would be the 25% of the 10,000 that you're gonna pay that other agent.
right,
Got it?
so if that's one of my first 4 sales, I'm only getting 25% of that commission, of that 10,000?
Ooh, I'm not a numbers person. We can
Because-
always go to Rochelle. That's who I would send you to because I'm not the numbers person. So
Right.
I don't ask me to try to calculate it because I would probably do it wrong. I'm just being honest.
Right,
But we can figure that out. But it's business that you would not have had unless that person had given you that client.
right, oh,
So that's why we're more than happy to pay those referral fees as agents because they just handed us a client.
okay,
So yes, you're gonna not make as much money, but you wouldn't have made that money because that wasn't somebody who was gonna come your way. So that's the bonus of it. So we have to give, and that's, again, it's a give and take. Higher service expectations. When you're getting a referral, that agent has high expectations on how you're gonna take care of the person they referred to them. And you should have the same of the agent that you're referring to. And then relocation complexities. So, that can be an issue so has anybody ever heard of relocation companies? You have, Jaden? Have any of you heard of relocation companies?
Yes. Uh-huh.
Okay. Well, they're not as prominent as they used to be because a lot of companies and corporations in the past have used a third-party relocation company to help them move employees to and from places. Like they're hiring somebody who doesn't live in Kansas City and they're gonna help move them to Kansas City. And even part of their relocation package might be that the relocation company helps them sell their house. Well, they have to use agents to do that. And they charge hefty referral fees to agents for you to do more work, because they have all these reports and everything they're gonna have you do. And I think it's kind of a hustle, but, again, they're not as prominent because most companies and corporations can't afford to move to do all of that. So just know if there's a relocation company involved in this move, then you need to talk. If you're getting that, like Jeffrey, if someone sent you a buyer, out-of-state buyer, you're gonna pay a referral fee on that to that agent. And then that buyer is going to be using a relocation company, that's maybe 30 to 45% more. That's their referral fee. So that you would want to, maybe that isn't worth it. I don't know. Depending on the price point of the house, if it's high enough price point, it might be worth it. Does that make sense? So I want you to be aware that could be something that could be a bad surprise, because they do charge a lot. Now it's negotiable. You can push back, and I've had many agents get it lower than 45%. But that's a big chunk of change coming out of your portion. Maintaining dual communication. Yeah, you got to keep up with everybody. Like I said, you've got to be making certain that you're staying in contact with everybody. Your responsibilities when receiving a referral. Respond immediately to that customer. Deliver solutions and exceptional experience, go above and beyond. You guys are going to do that anyway with all of your clients. But again, you're maintaining not even that, you're maintaining and developing a relationship with that client and with that referring agent. So it's two relationships that you're keeping up. Fully commit to the client's success, just as if they had originally been yours, and know your market inside and out. I always had a special packet and kind of like a little basket for out-of-town buyers. I would first ask them, I had all these questions that I asked them up front, because I had to try to get to know them, because Kansas City, there's a lot of territory. And if you don't know what they want and what they like, I always want to know, what kind of house do you live in now? Send me some pictures of your house. Do you like modern? Do you like old? Do you like established neighborhoods? Or do you want new construction? Do you like a city environment and vibe? Do you want that kind of, or do you want a more suburban environment? I've got to know these things, because Kansas City is too big for me to show them the whole city. I'll never forget someone saying to me, yeah, well, it's actually my old place of work. When I quit my corporate job, the HR department was already using an agent as their referral agent, and had been, I guess, for years. And I remember one of my coworkers saying, when I left to go be an agent, she said, I used that referral agent because that's who the company said, hey, use this person. And they never showed me like Brookside and Waldo, and that's my vibe. They put me out in Shawnee. They showed me Shawnee and Southern Johnson County, and said, it's a nice house, but we thought it was all like this. And she just wanted a bungalow. So after I became an agent, then I became the referral agent for my former company, which was beautiful. I got to help doctors and sales management that were moving in and out with our company. I got to help them buy and sell houses, which was awesome. So I knew my market, and then you need to know the client. Because even our housing stock, anybody been to Arizona? Houses look different than they do here, right? The types of building materials they use, the type of roofing can be different. If you go to Atlanta, has anybody been to Atlanta? All those houses have brick on them. They use so much brick. We just use little brick facades. There are very few all brick homes. In Atlanta, it's a thing, an all brick home. Right? So we've got to know that what they're coming in, you've got to know where they're coming from and what they've been used to know what they're stepping into and start educating them to the difference of what Kansas City has. And we have a lot of variety. We have the older homes and neighborhoods, we have the new. So our architecture is pretty varied, but what don't we have a lot of? As far as style of homes. We don't have much stucco, a true like Arizona stucco, a more Spanish vibe. And we don't have that many modern contemporary homes like they have in California. We don't. Actually, it can be hard to sell a contemporary home in Kansas City because you have a smaller pool of buyers. Not everybody wants, we have more of a Midwest vibe, you know, fireplace and yeah, that more of that Midwest. I want to say almost colonial, but not quite, right? No, why did that? Hold on. Okay, more essential responsibilities. Master new construction, because a lot of times people are going to come in from out of state and they want new construction. And guys, new construction is a different animal. It's a different contract. And a lot of times it's the builder or developer's contract, and not all of them use the KCRAR new construction contract.
Oh, yes, it is. It's a totally different beast.
It is, Amber. And so you need to educate yourself. Matter of fact, KCRAR has a really good CE class on new construction. It's a great way to get your CE hours and learn more about the new construction process because it's not the same. You work with that listing agent so much more, and your client does too, in building a home because it's a different relationship. Matter of fact, a lot of times you're actually sitting down with the listing agent and your clients and writing the contract right there, especially if it's coming, it's not even started. If they're going to be building it from the ground, then they have to go over all those details with the client. Bless you. Practice patience and flexibility. It's challenging to move out of state. Stay current on market conditions so that you can educate. Like we were talking last night when we were looking at the contract challenge house last night. We're talking about radon. Is everybody familiar with radon gas? Well, if you're not, it's so common in Kansas City. It's deemed that 40 to 50% of homes in Kansas City have a level of radon over the EPA accepted standard. It's a thing. It's in our rock. It's in our ground. We can't help it. But I have seen buyers freak out about radon because they came from a part of the United States that does not exist. And I've seen them even cancel contracts after inspections. Oh, radon. And you're like, well, it's going to be hard to find one with none.
It's like $1,000 fix. Too.
And the mitigation is easy. It's a $6,000 to $1,000 fix, and you can have a safe level. So it's not, yes, it's a big issue and it's a big concern. That's another great class at KCRAR is a CE class on radon. It's fascinating. I loved learning how they discovered radon. I had a client, corporate woman, very smart, highly educated, and she said radon is hooey. I don't believe on it. I'm not going to test for it. I don't care. And I said, So I always, instead of talking about the health issues of radon, I would say to a buyer, well, I understand maybe it's not important to you, but when you go to sell this house, most likely the buyer is going to want to do that. So we do have a unique opportunity right now when we're negotiating with the seller to actually get them to fix that. So that'll be in place so that when you go to sell, you won't get hit with that. And then usually they would be okay with it because they'd be like, oh, because I was talking money with them. Even if they didn't believe in it. It's the second leading cause of lung cancer. And it was found through miners. They were underground, right, in the rock. And they were having high incidences of lung cancer because they were underground. And that's how they found it. Fascinating. Educate buyers about local pricing. Maybe they're coming from a market that the average price is less. I just posted the KCRER fast stats for October. What was the average sales price? $3.99. Good job. You all should know that. That should be like automatic knowledge to you. You should be knowing the main market stats. How many days on the market? It was how many? Oh, it popped up. Average was 40 days on the market. And then I post some historical ones. I posted what the fast stats were in 2022 and 2020 to kind of give you some perspective about how those stats have changed. Because that was enlightening. So we're inching up to 400. We already got to 400 earlier this year for 1 month. That's the highest average sales price we've ever had in Kansas City. And now we're at $3.99. So we went back down for some months, not big, but we went down. And now we moved up in October. That's stuff that you guys should know. And be educating yourself. Communicate regularly and pay promptly. That's why that referral form is so important. Responsibilities in giving. Thoroughly interview your client. Do not just hand them off. You need to know, are you pre-approved? You need to know, what are they looking for? You need to know what their timeline is. You need to know as much as possible about what they're hoping to accomplish and what they're hoping to buy, so you can share that with this referring agent. I find it very, I don't like being, I'm not good at being unprepared. I don't know about you guys. It is not my natural habitat. I'm not good at surprises. So I want to know. And so you need to understand if they have a price range. Is there something special that they're going to need in this new house? Do they want acreage? Do they want to be able to have horses? Do they have a hobby that they work on antique cars, so they need an outbuilding? You should be asking enough questions that you're really giving a good, solid buyer to these people. You could actually encourage them to get pre-approved. And if you have a lender that does national lending, you could actually give them some names, or that agent can too. But to at least tell that agent, hey, they're not pre-approved yet, but they are going to be ready to go. And we already talked about the importance of pre-approval before they go out shopping with you. Interview multiple agents carefully. I actually like to give most people 2 agents to interview. Why do you think that is?
I don't know.
Not everybody's a fit.
And it makes less than have a choice.
Yes. But here's what I always say to my clients, or they're not my clients, but to potentials that I'm helping. Is I'm going to say to you, Wyatt, I've got 2 great agents. I want you to interview them. Here's what from the conversations I've had with them, I really think they can help you achieve what you want to achieve. And they sound great. But here's the thing, until you start working with them, we're not going to know if they're going to be the perfect fit. If for any reason, neither one of them turns out to be the agent for you, may I ask you to promise that you'll come back to me and I'll find someone else? Because here's what'll happen to you. Olivia, you start working with that agent that I referred to you and they're not a fit and you're just like, ugh. You feel bad telling me that, so you're not gonna tell me that. You're gonna go find another agent and I won't have an opportunity to help you and I won't have an opportunity to get a referral fee.
Can I just have both agents sign the referral fee, we let them know?
I do,
that
I
they're
do.
out?
Yep, I let them know that I'm giving my, referral to agents. You're one of them for them to, interview and decide.
You don't have to do those, forms though until.
No, I would go ahead and do the referral fee. I would do the referral form with both of them. They've got to sign it for it to be executed and to come back. So if they don't end up being, but I would at least send it over so that they see the terms.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. Communicate service expectations. What are your expectations of that agent, especially if it's like your sister? My sister is a little bit crazy sometimes. I love her dearly, but she can be a little scattered. So you're gonna have to stay on top of her. You know, I'm gonna coach them and say, here's how she likes to be communicated with. And she may be, you might have to do some hand holding, but, I have the expectation that you're gonna take great care of her. I'm gonna say that because I want them to know I have expectations. And then I'm gonna be checking up. Because some people, when you talk to them and interview them, you know, some people present very well. And then they don't execute well. We've all experienced that. So I want them to know I'm gonna be checking up, and that's why I'm gonna follow up. If I was you and I referred my sister to someone, I'd be checking up as soon as she connects with that agent. How'd it go? What'd you think? Do you think are you comfortable with this agent? Do you think they're gonna be able to help you? And if she starts hemming and hawing, saying, I don't know, they say, well, then let's find somebody else. Let's find somebody else. But give them permission to come back to you and say, this is not a fit. If you don't, they'll be embarrassed or they'll feel bad. And they won't let you know until it's too late that they dropped that agent and found another one on their own.
Is there any ethical concern, like telling them to break a contract? They're not like a buyer agent agreement?
I would say with my client, before they sign anything, what their options are if this isn't working. Because yes, now it's a little, since we have to have the buyer's agency signed before we can show, it is a little bit harder for them, but I would say just meet with them and have just a meeting first. Have a consultation with them. And that's what I'd be saying. Do you do a buyer consultation when you get new clients? And they say, no, we just go shopping. I'm like,
That about going to breakfast about it. Should we?
yes, it should be. Now, I get it sometimes. Especially if it's a lead, like if you were doing Zillow leads and somebody calls you off a Zillow lead, you have no relationship and they have not been referred to you by a trusted source. You might need to go show them a house or two before they're going to, but you still have to get them signed. So you might not get to do the consultation because those are usually the type of people who want to go see it now. But then you're gonna have to back up and say, I'll show you this, but after we go see this, I want to sit down, let's get a cup of coffee, because I want to sit down and really find out what it is you're wanting. Especially if the house we go see today is not the one for you. Because this would just be a start. So you sometimes need to back up to step number one, because sometimes the client, but I only tell people, I will only show you one or two houses and then we have to sit and chat. I don't say, we're gonna do a buyer's consultation. I said, let's just have coffee and talk about what you want. Because the way I can do my best possible job for you is to know as much as possible about what you want in your new home. And I need to know how you're gonna live in it. Me knowing, Jaden, that you want a 3-bedroom, 2-bath and an old Overland Park is not enough for me to do a good job. It's just not. Matter of fact, that means I would probably show you houses that are not gonna be fit for you, and you might get frustrated with me thinking, how's she gonna find me a house? She's not showing me houses that I want, because I didn't ask enough questions. I didn't slow the train down so that I could get to know you and what your wants and needs are. That's so important. Follow up with your customer, follow up with the agent. Do not just hand them off and disappear and wait for the check. Because there may not be one if you're not staying, and that's not like every day. How's it going? Under contract yet? Just every other week, maybe you're checking in. And if it's somebody you're really close to, the customer is like family, then you can check with them all the time. How's it going? Did you see any houses? Are you having fun? Did you write any contracts? Building win-win relationships. True value of agent relationships. Have a robust network of agents in your database means you have more opportunity for referral income. And if you stay connected with them, that's why I love Family Reunion, and the other big event is Mega Camp, and it's always in either August or September, and it's usually in Austin. They did it in San Antonio this year, but usually it's in Austin. That's because the convention center, they couldn't book in Austin there's something going on. I love it because then I start building relationships, and I can't wait for the next event to go see the people that I now know. It's really fun. You get to have all these relationships and you're like, oh, I can't wait to go see this person. You gain trusted colleagues, people that you can talk with and partner with. And many times those turn into real friendships, like it has for me. You know, on my schedule, I always recommend that you listen to Pivot Shift to Have every morning at 7 a.m. It's a Zoom call. You can also watch it on Facebook Live. In that community, boatloads of referrals go around because of the relationships people have built in that community, on that online community. We have quite a few of our agents that are big participators in Pivot Shift Ahead. Actually, James Shaw, who runs Pivot Shift Ahead, is where our office is bringing him in January to the Overland Park Convention Center. We've asked other market centers to join us so we can have a big giant crowd for him. It's going to be amazing and fabulous. He's one of my absolute favorite Keller Williams master instructors. He's a former bold coach. He was my bold coach one year. He's funny, he's insightful, he's impactful, and he's built this community of amazing agents that give back to each other. And one of the ways they give back is giving referrals to each other, because they get to know who lives in New York, who lives in Vermont, who lives in Tucson, who's in San Diego. And you've actually gotten to know them online, so you know, oh, wow, they're really solid. So that is one area that I know you can get referrals from right off the bat, is participating in different communities like that. Okay, tap into agent referrals. Remember, there are a lot of agents out there. There's a lot of us. So we're not hard to find. Events, like I just said, events can be great opportunities. There are Keller Williams agents that dress in costume to get your attention and hand out their business cards or their QR codes to build a referral. One man's his last name was Butler, and he was dressed as a butler and had a silver tray with all of his cards on it, and would come up to you and say, I'm Jay Butler from Tulsa, Oklahoma, wherever he was. Some of them have crazy some are specific to their state where they live, something that shows that One had a cheesehead hat on, we know where they're from, right? Agents understand the system, they are very used to and willing to pay referrals. It's sweet, we have no problem with that. You can build a nationwide network, you can even build an international network. So there's so many reasons to do this. Just shift your mindset. This is not about you competing with other agents. That's also, let's talk about agent to agent referrals here in the office. Ashley Hunt, that is recently graduated from launch. One of her first 4 deals was a referral from an agent here in this office who said, I don't have time for this couple. Can I refer them to you? And she didn't say no. She did not say no. For me, I got buyers. I even got a listing from another agent in our office. So the relationships that you build are so important. They are so important because you never know when there'll be an opportunity for you. So when you come like on Tuesdays, I really challenge you to introduce yourself to agents you don't know. And it's more than just for referrals. It's also, do you want open house opportunities? Build relationships. Because agents will go to new agents that they trust and have used and built a relationship. Some of our top agents won't even return your text messages, and I'm sorry, they're crazy busy. They're not rude. They just, and you're like, can I do an open house? They don't know you from Adam. You've never introduced yourself to them. And personally, and I told you this before in the open house class, personally, as a listing agent, I'm gonna talk to you before I let you hold my house open. Most of them don't, I know that. But that's a reflection of me with my sellers. So build those relationships so you have those opportunities. Also, you could show houses for them when they're too busy, or go meet an inspector to let them in, and they pay you. A little side money. It's a little side money. So be unforgettable, make it memorable, stay top of mind. Another way that, okay, one of the agents who also did a really great job, okay, it was before COVID, our rookie of the year, that agent, I'm just gonna tell you how many referrals he did. I think he had like 17 sales, 23 referrals. He made over $40,000 just in referral income. He even said to me, I like this better than working with buyers and sellers. It's so easy and it takes no time, and my per hour rate is really good. He tapped in a big way. Now he had a little bit of an advantage because he used to be a loan officer with an online mortgage company, so he knew lenders in different cities. He just reached out to his buddies and say, if you have anybody moving to Kansas City, I want to be that agent. But a good portion of, matter of fact, his first one was his sister-in-law out of state. So you can, with purpose. Would you like to make $40,000 in referrals? Now that's exceptional, but that doesn't mean you couldn't do it. It doesn't. I'd love to see you. And for some of you, it's going to be your first commission check. Noelle, who's usually out, her first commission check was a referral. It's not uncommon. Okay. I want you thinking about how will you tell other agents how you're different? What makes you different? What makes you special? I grew up in Kansas City. I know the neighborhoods front and back. I'm a hard worker and I will take such good care. And I'll even keep you posted on how everything's going with your client. Be proactive in how you explain how you're going to be so helpful if they refer someone to you. What kind of technology do you use and how will you be able to make the transaction smooth? I want you thinking about how are you going to sell yourself to other agents? Screen and qualify the potential partners, just as you would a client. You're going to start by identifying what makes other agents top of mind with you. What are the qualities that you're looking for in an agent that you'd want to partner with a family or friend or former colleague, right? If any of you are military or former military, I'm going to tell you, you've got a network that the rest of us don't. You have a brotherhood that the rest of us don't. And there's a high trust already built in. And so you being able to find other agents that are military, former vets, or current military can be powerful because military families usually move around, right? Think about that. That's an amazing way to help. Ensure that what their customer service philosophy is. Customers come first. Make sure that they align, that they have the same high standards that you do and that your expectations. And then prepare a list of qualification questions you're going to ask them, and then ask them for testimonials of their past clients. I would want to see that. I would definitely want to see that. And it might be on their website, and here's some of the questions. What do you love about what you do? What do you prefer, listings or buyers? How long have you been in the business? To me, that's not I just want to know. I might take a new person over somebody who's been in the business 30 years because I know that new person probably has a hustle. And they might not have the same bad habits that somebody too long in the business might have. Seriously. What geographic area do you serve? You might live in Cincinnati, but what parts of Cincinnati do you work in? Where do you specialize? Where's most of your business? It may be all over. Can you provide client testimonials or references? What is your area of expertise? Is it new construction? Is it working with investors? Is it commercial? Remember, educate your out-of-town people about commercial real estate too. I didn't mention that earlier, but they don't know you can help them find a good commercial agent. A lot of small businesses have small business commercial needs. How many new builds have you sold if your client that you're going to partner them with may want new construction? I want to know those things. So when to refer, remember what I said about different markets, even if it's in the same state, that's a good reason to refer. Outside your geographic expertise, again, our license actually, we say that we are not to work outside our expertise. Now, you all are new, so you're not experts yet, but like for me, I would never dream of doing commercial, ever. I don't know. I know this much about it, and I know enough that I don't like it. And I don't even want to learn about it. That's me. You all might want to learn about it, and I would encourage it if you have some interest, but it sounds icky to me. I'd be referring it to Jill. And you're not the right fit. Okay, so you have a best friend, Jaden, and you love them to death, but they're crazy. They're like batshit crazy. And you love them, but you know that if you were to help them buy a house, it'd probably be the end of your friendship. Right? We all have friends like that. We love them, but to work with them, we probably couldn't both live through the experience. I have some friends like that. I love them dearly, but I know one of us would not live through the experience. Then I'm going to find them a really good agent, because friendship and relationships should come first over business. And you have to recognize that family don't always use you either, because they don't want you to know about their financials. And we do learn more than many people are comfortable with. So one of the things you might say to family right now while you're new is, if for any reason you're not comfortable using me, and I get it, it's like some people won't use as a financial planner, somebody they know or family member. I want you to know my finances like that, or what bad things mistakes I made, right? But I can help you find a good agent and be okay with that. Because again, if you don't give them permission, then they're gonna go do it and it's gonna make you mad most likely. I can't believe they went and used that agent. Didn't even talk to me. Well, you didn't give them permission to. Make sense?
So, it's like staring me in the face, maternity leave, I'm not going to work April through like June.
Yes. And you get to do that. So what you can tell people is, if you have a real estate need, I'm gonna be being mom to a newborn, but I've got great agents to help you. So I would actually be proactive about that and let them know so that they don't think, oh, I'll just go find somebody. You should make a little money while you're on actual maternity leave. There's no reason you cannot still help them. But they're gonna be worried about bothering you unless you, again, we've got to give people permission. Does that make sense? We got to give them permission and tell them we can still help them. This is how I can help you. Negotiate your referral fee up front. Like I said, if you're giving the referral, you tell the other agent what your referral fee is. Now, that doesn't mean they won't negotiate with you, because it is negotiable. But don't say, oh, I don't know, what would you want to pay? Don't, please don't say that.
Let's say $1,000.
They'll say, yeah, don't. Say, I charge, my referral fee is this. How does that sound? I can send over the paperwork. Consider these factors when you're working with them, and how much time and how difficult this is gonna be. Document everything. Both parties must complete and sign the referral form before meeting with the customer. And share this documentation with your office immediately to ensure that you're going to get paid in a timely manner. So here's what I want you guys to do. I want you to create, I forgot to tell you, the new agent that got 23 referrals, here's what he did brilliantly that I thought was so good. Every time he gave a referral, a successful referral, and it closed, or even when he did the introduction and then he would post when it closed, he would have an outline of the state in which the referral was sent to, and said, I just helped my good buddy in Canton, Ohio, find an awesome agent, and now he's in his first home. That I thought that was brilliant to have the outline of the state, because then that reiterated with people, oh, it's not Missouri, that's not Kansas. Jeffrey was able to help them and they live in Ohio, right? I thought that was brilliant and it worked beautifully for him. So I would like to see you all do a social media post telling people, and maybe it's a picture of the whole United States. And you say, guess what? You probably don't know this, but I can help you find a great agent no matter where you live. I want to see you do that. I want to see you grow this referral network. I want to see you make referral income and have that high per hour rate. So think about, and I'd like to see you do it like in the next 2 days. I'll be watching your social media to see if you're doing it. And then proactively network. Like I said, if you've got a concentration of your people in certain areas, certain cities, certain states, what have you, start reaching out and building relationships with agents in those areas. So you can have go-to people already. That'd be beautiful.
Let's like reach out as agent.
So that's a great question, Olivia. A couple of things. One, I would first post in our closed office Facebook page and say, does anybody know a good agent in Las Vegas? Whatever the city is, to see if there's anybody that our agents have already had an experience with and refer. And then when you go into command, there is a referral icon on there. Go in there and play around, because then you can go to an area and see, it'll tell you about those agents. And then there's a feature in there. I don't have time to bring it up, but there's a feature in there where you can actually see where most people are coming from to go to Kansas City. So you can see what the hot markets, it's usually pretty spread out, but it's kind of interesting to see where are people coming from when they move to Kansas City. And then where are they moving to when they move away from Kansas City? It has that feature in that referral network. So you can go in there, but I always want to first ask the people around me, who do you know? And then you can, like I said, then you can start researching and trying to find out yourself. But I'm always trying to find out from others first. That's how I find most of my referrals. One of my favorite ones in St. Louis, I met her at a KW event, not at one of the big ones, just one in St. Louis. And she's one of my favorite referral agents, and she always sends me a card. When I refer to her, she always sends me a little Starbucks gift card. I mean, she's just very thoughtful and stays in touch with me. And I always look for her at all the events. If she's there, I'm looking for Gina to catch up with her and see where she's traveled. Her partner's from Italy, so they go have wonderful trips. So I'm always checking it out. Was this helpful? Did you learn something today? Are you going to do some of this? What about Zoomers? Let me expand you so I can see you. Okay, you guys going to do something with this information?
Yes.
I kind of already did. I've been trying to research. I have a lot of family in Apostle, so I've been trying to research agents down there, and I found a couple of them. So I kind of already been trying to do that.
We have an agent here in the office, Karen, whose family's in El Paso.
Oh, really?
Stephanie Gonzalez. She's not in the office a lot. She's on the Thrive team, but she's sweet as can be. And she's got some really good agents down there too. So you might connect
Oh,
with
okay.
Stephanie and ask her who her go-to agents are down there to add to your list.
Oh, okay, that's good to know.
Yeah, okay. Well,
I have two people that may need new construction. I'm going to take that new construction class.
good deal. Yeah, it's a great class. Check it out on the KCRER. That and the radon class, really, really good classes. And you need to have some foundation in new construction. Matter of fact, we used to do on occasion a red class for all the agents on new construction. I'd really like to have something for you all as newbies. Yeah, I think that would be good. You know who I might, Jackie Boyce of our office, her husband is a home builder, custom home builder. If I could get him to come in, I think that would be really beneficial because it's different, so different. Like Amber was saying, it's so different. Okay, that's all I've got today. Appreciate your all's participation. Read the booklet. The guide has more information in it too. And go be proactive. I'll be watching to what you guys are doing. Thanks, Zoomers. Stop the share.
Thank you.